So Andy, this is one badass looking rock and roll instrument. Can you tell me a little bit
You
about this?
look pretty good with it, man.
Hey,
How's it feel?
It feels great. It feels really substantial, yet the action's great, and I just can't wait to get wild with the Bigsby.
With the Bigsby? Yeah, well, Bigsby's are fun for sure. That's a T3B. That's what we call it, and the B obviously stands for Bigsby. You can get the guitar with a stop tail piece too. It's kind of our take on what a semi-hollow body electric guitar is. A semi-hollow body in general has sort of a rounder kind of sound than some electric guitars might have. This one is a solid center block, and then there's chambers on both sides.
So the center block kind of prevents the feedback.
Yeah, it prevents the woofing that you would get out of a completely hollow guitar, right? And we've added a couple of little tweaks to it. If you look at this bridge, this is what's called a roller bridge, and it's a little bit different than other guitars that you might have seen equipped with a Bigsby, because every one of those strings is actually on a wheel, so that when you move the bar, the whole wheel moves with the string, so it helps to keep the guitar stable.
Right.
Helps to keep it in tune.
And not so much string breakage.
Not so much breakage, and yeah, right.
And so this is obviously for the rock and roller on your Christmas list. But who else might dig a guitar like this?
Well, it makes a really good rockabilly guitar. It does really nice. It can do a jazz thing really well too. There's a couple of different ways to use this guitar. You can use it in full humbucking mode, and if you want single coil sounds, all I got to do is pull that knob out, and it shuts off one of the humbuckers. So then you have the kind of more chimey, glassy kind of sound. It also has two different tone circuits, and they're activated right here with this control. When you pull it out, it's kind of a standard passive tone control, like most electric guitars would be. But when it's down, it does a cool thing that actually all the Taylor electric guitars do, where when you have the tone control turned all the way to 10, it's as bright as the guitar is going to be. And then as you start turning it back, it gets a little bit darker. But when it's all the way off, it's a mid-range peak.
Cool.
So it kind of sounds like a wah-wah pedal, on and half cocked.
Right.
It's just all mid-range. It's really honky and right in your face. It's kind of like the Texas blues guitar sound. It makes a great slide sound too. So there's a lot of different, the single coil, the full humbucking, the two tone circuits, and the Bigsby works actually for many styles. You can do the full-on rock thing if you want. And we also have different pickup options as well.
I was going to ask.
Yeah. These are the high definition pickups, the high definition Taylor pickups. We also have the vintage Alnicos, which is kind of a familiar sort of burst bucker, humbucker sound. It'll be a little bit darker than these. And then you can also put our mini humbuckers on that guitar too. So there's a lot of different choices.
And the mini humbuckers have more of a kind of a mini humbuckers really have kind of a sharper, brighter sound to them.
They don't. Mini humbuckers don't take up as much space as a full humbucker, so it's a good sound if you want a guitar that cuts really well.
Right.
And if you're in a dense mix, sometimes that's better than having such a huge sound.
Right.
Because you want to be heard. You don't want to add mud to everything else. You want to cut through. So the minis are really good for that kind of sound.
And tell me about the fretboard.
It's an ebony fingerboard. It has our Taylor, what we call a T-lock joint. If you want to flip it around and show them the back really quick, it's kind of it's a unique Taylor design. It's a 1-bolt system.
Right.
And the way that it works, a lot of people would look at that and go, how can that possibly be stable, right? Because you think about traditional guitars either being dovetail joints, neck through, or 3 or 4 bolt systems.
Right.
And the way that ours works is they're actually, the neck and the body are kind of, they're puzzle pieces. They fit into one another. And so it's really a tight fit, and when you put that bolt in, the two puzzle pieces just sort of fit together, tightens it and pulls it down and locks it in place. But like all the Taylor guitars, you can adjust that neck angle very easily on this guitar. So if you're somebody who likes to hit hard, you might kind of need a different neck angle than if you play really lightly, and it's really easy to change that on this, and actually even the GS Mini has an NT neck with a system that you can change the neck angle on. So.
And the way the neck and the body kind of lock together, does that kind of improve sustain as opposed to like the 4-bolt neck kind
There's
of
a lot of
concept?
wood-to-wood contact in that joint, and like I said, it's not just they're puzzle pieces, so it's tight. And they're meeting each other on the top to the bottom and side to side. So it's a guitar that has plenty of sustain for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be very psyched to get this in my stocking. I'll tell you that much.